Welcome. Thank you so much for making the time. First, could you tell me about yourself and what do you do and let everybody know who you are?
Sure. So I am Joseph Patterson, born in 1971 in Kingston, Jamaica, particularly downtown Kingston, a place called Blake Road. I am married to Charlotte Masada Patterson for the last 29 years. We have 3 children. I'm an accountant by profession. In fact, I was first trained in engineering at UTech, and then I became a CPA in Canada, where I migrated, and I returned to Jamaica, became a farmer, in addition to being an accountant, in addition to being an entrepreneur. And I find myself leading a political party that I created a few years ago with the hope of transforming Jamaica into a well-governed country.
Please explain what a non-partisan constitutional republic is and why you believe this will benefit Jamaicans.
Sure. So a non-partisan constitutional republic it's best to understand it by looking at the words, non-partisan. In the current system that we have in Jamaica, it's partisan, it's divisive. It divides us into 2 tribes and have us fight for scarce benefits and spoils. That's something given to us by our colonial masters. That's not necessarily the way we should govern ourselves. So a non-partisan system is one where you remove party as the primary method of politics and you focus on policy and getting people around the table. So it's non-partisan. Constitutional now means that instead of you being ruled by the whims of men, you are ruled by the rule of law. And so those laws are carefully designed to protect your individual sovereignty, your rights. So regardless of who you elect, those rights are fully protected. A constitutional means your rights are protected, the form of government is solid, and the people are protected from tyranny and any form of government gone awry. Now, a republic, many people believe a republic is simply not having the monarchy as head of state and replacing that with a president and saying, now you're a republic. That's not true. A real republic is one where the Constitution fully protects your personal sovereignty. Anything else is actually a fake republic. So America, for example, which says it's a republic, is a fake republic. Barbados is a fake republic. Trinidad is a fake republic. China, very much a fake republic. The closest the world has ever come to seeing a republic is the US. But they have kind of wandered away from the roots of why they were trying to be a republic. Remember, they were trying to create a nation where the individual citizens are fully free and fully protected from tyranny. The moment you have lost that kind of element, you cease to be a republic. So a true republic is the one that we're going to create, a non-partisan constitutional republic to protect the rights of the Jamaican people.
What is your plan to protect Jamaican business owners from paying extortion money to gangsters?
Right, well, in order for you to understand the solution to the problem of extortion of gangsters, of businesses in Jamaica, you have to understand the origin. So Jamaica before 1962 was relatively peaceful. The violators of our rights were the colonial powers here who were using racism, classism, and all kind of ism to separate us, divide us, and steal from us. Now, over time, our leaders, our own indigenous Jamaican, if you will, became our political leaders. The first set came into power in 1944, which was the JLP government, and then the PNP following. So for 80 years now, we've had those 2 parties. Now, they're the ones that brought guns into the country. They're the ones that created the gangs, gave them, government contracts. They're the ones who created garrison communities to get votes. And so out of that, we have become a culture of violence and a culture of corruption and a culture of scamming. Now, we're asking them to fix our crime problem when they are the ethos of it, they are the genesis of it. So if you want to stop the crime and you want to reduce the possibility of extortions of criminals, you first have to remove those who are the architects of it from power. And then you have to make sure you have a government which is based on the right kind of policies and foundations that the UIC has explained to us. So the moment we move from the model we currently have to a model that is designed to protect the rights of the citizens, designed to give us proper checks and balances, designed to ensure that people no longer have to look to forms of crime and corruption to gain some kind of economic power, you'll shift the balance of power away from gangs, away from criminals, to a highly productive society.
I see on your website that you speak about lowering GCT. If you lower GCT, where we get the funds to run the country and implement the social programs you promise to provide the Jamaican people?
Excellent. So right now, Jamaica does not have a revenue problem in terms of government. What we have is a misallocation of funds. So if you have a government where every year you're losing over 700 million US dollars to corruption, then if you stop the corruption, you really shift those funds back into the productive sector and back into proper governance. We have planned to change the tax structure to make it simpler and more efficient. Here's what's going to happen. A UIC government is going to give us only two taxes. One is income tax, and the other one is GCT, or the sales tax. Why is this? The income tax is all you need. 10% of everybody's income is all you need to run the structures of government, to ensure you have a safe, clean, and orderly country. I'm an accountant, I've done the math. The second thing that you need is to address the social problems of the country, decades of problems. Now, if you target the social problems right at the core, what are the core? Proper nutrition for our children, proper education, proper health care, and decent housing. So we're going to dedicate the GCT, cut it from 15 to 10%, and dedicate that to poverty alleviation. Now, here's one of the crux of the matter of poverty alleviation. Let's remember what happened in 1838 when they freed the slaves. They freed them, but they didn't give them back the land that was stolen from their ancestors. So we're going to return the land to the people, making sure that every Jamaican becomes a property owner, every family becomes a property owner. Something that should have been done from 1838, or when our leaders took over in 1944, they should have done it. Or when we became independent in 1962, they should have done it. But they have not done it, and now the UIC is going to do it. We're going to have what is called land reparation. So rather than wait for the foreign masters or colonial masters to give us money for slavery, why don't we give our people back the land that was stolen from them? Let us lead by example by repairing the breach, reparation, by giving land to the people, giving them their birthright, and then providing a governance model that ensures every child receives the nutrition, education, and health care that they need. One more point. Singapore, which is 1/15 our size, with twice as many people in their country, have a 93% home ownership rate. If we have 15 times as much land as Singaporeans and half their population, we must be able to give 98% of our people a proper home to live in. And that's what we're going to do. So the GCT and the income tax that I have prescribed is enough to do all of that simply by cutting out the corruption.
You have blamed the current Jamaican government for corruption, which has led to current problems in Jamaica. Please elaborate more on what you mean exactly. What is your plan to clean the country from that government, that corrupted government, and backdoor deals? How do you keep yourself from being corrupted?
Okay, that's a very, very loaded question, but let's take it piece by piece. First of all, I have not blamed the government for corruption. I have simply taken the time to explain our history to us. So it's a historical fact that in the 1930s, the then media, which is the Gleaner Company, and the then plantocracy, which we'll call the PSOJ today, and the colonial parties, which you know those two parties, they colluded together, that's history, to get rid of Marcus Garvey and to get rid of the Marcus Garvey party and set up a system of corruption which has plagued us to this day. Here's how the system works. The powerful moneyed elites fund two parties and give it to the people as options. The people who are largely unaware, not educated, think that they have real political options. They vote for these two parties, not realizing no matter which one they vote for, they're still voting for the PSOJ oligarchs. So those oligarchs have been able to get very, very filthy rich at the expense of the people. I'll give you an example. During COVID, when we were all suffering, we were all struggling, all the banks made billions of dollars. Major cruise ships could come in and do their business. The big companies could open, but the small man, the small people, they were shut down. That is a micro description of what has been happening for years in Jamaica. So I'm not blaming them. What I'm doing is helping the Jamaican people to become aware, to become informed, and to become empowered. Now, what will protect me from becoming as corrupt as them should I be elected through the UIC to become the next Prime Minister and then lead us to become a republic. The UIC is not based on empty promises. We're based on changing the system. So the moment you elect us, you're going to know if we're honoring our commitment or not. For example, the current Prime Minister, he promised you a fixed election date. He never got it. He promised job descriptions. He never got it. He promised 4% growth in 5% growth in 4 years. He never got it. So you can see clearly his failings and you can vote him out. When you elect us, you can see clearly our success and you'll choose to vote us back in.
What is your plan to clean a country that is governed by corruption and backdoor deals?
Yes. Well, the most important thing to do is to start with the top. If you get rid of those who are involved in corruption at the top, it will filter down to the bottom. There's been this ideology of trickle-down economics. Well, the truth is, instead of focusing on trickling down economics, we should have grassroots economics development and top-down attack on corruption and crime. If we ensure that we go after those at the top who are involved in corruption, you will eliminate it. Now, I'm not saying this generally. Singapore has proven this. Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore, they went after those at the top and set the example. So the people at the bottom were now afraid to engage in corruption, because if your system is so quick and so punitive in dealing with top-level corruptors, then the rest of us in society will follow suit and know that we should walk the straight and narrow.
Jamaica is extremely dependent on foreign governments. Where will you get funding to grow the economy if you were to come to power?
Well, that is a false analysis, actually. Jamaica is not heavily dependent on foreigners. Jamaica's leaders have decided to be dependent on foreign powers to direct them and guide them because they want access to free money. They want grants. They want special privileges. They're not interested in building Jamaica. Now, all the taxes that are being paid, all $900 million that we pay in taxes come from us. We the people pay it. When you see the banks having billions in profits, it's we the people who have paid it. So the money is here. The productive capacity is here. But what we have not been getting is when we pay the taxes, we don't get a clean Jamaica. We don't get a safe Jamaica. We don't get an orderly Jamaica. We don't get a police service that is well paid and well managed. We don't have teachers who are well educated and well equipped and well paid to serve us. We don't have a healthcare system that serves. So the money is coming, but somehow when it goes into the hands of our politicians, it just disappears and we don't see it in our daily lives. You don't see sidewalks that are designed for the handicapped and the seniors to walk comfortably. You don't see street lights in places like Goshen and Balaclava and Silo and Braze River. You don't see community centers for children to enjoy with proper facilities. You don't see a Jamaica that shows that their leaders care about the quality of life of the people. So clearly, it's not a foreign problem we have. It's a foreign-minded problem of our leaders who fail to do the things that we need done here to enjoy the quality of life that we can enjoy in this Jamaica. If Singapore could do it, by the way, Jamaica used to be #1 economically in the Caribbean. Why is it after 80 years of these two parties, we're now second to last, just ahead of Haiti? We know why Haiti is poor. We know that they're pushed by foreign powers into where they are today because they're the first to have achieved their independence. But we have no excuse because we have always had every opportunity to make Jamaica no less than Singapore, but we have chosen through our leaders to be where we are. The UIC wants to change that.
You speak a lot about sovereignty and doing away with the colonial rule in Jamaica. What is your plan to decolonize the outdated education system in Jamaica and provide skills that are applicable in our fast-paced modern world?
Very good question. We have been suffering from a Eurocentric education system all our lives. We have learned to see the foreign masters as our superior. You saw it in our constitution. These two parties enshrined a foreigner as our head of state, and they have kept it that way to this day. The UIC is going to create what we call an Afrocentric education system. So we're going to make sure that our people see ourselves and see ourselves in the best light possible, but not in a fictitious way. We need to understand where we're coming from, why we ended up where we have ended up, and what we must do to extricate ourselves out of it. We have to also change the curriculum and move away from examination passing as the basis to now understanding 3 core elements. First, understanding yourself, who you are, where you came from, where you're going, what you need to do about managing you, your health, your mind, your body, your personality. Secondly, you need to understand human behavior. Not only ourselves as Jamaicans, but the rest of the world. How we deal with the Chinese, the Indians, the Europeans. What are their cultural bases and how do we interact with them to maximize our potential and not be tricked again by other people. And then thirdly, we have to understand money and economics. If you have a people who don't understand economics, don't understand money, they'll be tricked by their politicians who themselves are being tricked by brighter people. That's why, for example, we had a prime minister who signed off on a toll road arrangement that says they can never incur a loss. As long as they're running it, we, the taxpayer, must foot the bill. That's ridiculous. So we need leaders who are wise, leaders who are properly educated. And so for that, you have to train your young people, which is why the UIC has made it mandatory that every child receive the nutrition. Very important. If you don't eat properly, you can't learn properly. The nutrition, the education, the healthcare, and the housing that they need. If you have those 4 basic things in place for our people, then they can rise above all the other challenges the world presents before them.
What are your plans to help Jamaican farmers regain control of their seeds, reduce the use of harmful pesticides, and help Jamaicans profit from the marijuana growth in Jamaica?
Another great question. Now, as you know, Jamaica for many years was an agricultural powerhouse. We were the jewel in the English crown in producing massive amount of agricultural produce. Since the lands have been turned over to our own leaders, that has gone south. Why has it gone south? Because our political leaders have led us to become enthusiastic about and embracing of genetically modified seeds and foreign fertilizer, which has killed off our native species and have also ravished our lands and have made our farmers dependent on an economic model that is not sustainable. If you're not producing your own fertilizer, organic fertilizer, and if you're not saving and protecting your seeds, then you're losing your competitive edge. So the UIC is going to reverse that by returning Jamaica to an organic farming solution. We're also going to embrace the ideas of permaculture, which is making sure you bring a balance between the land, the people, and the environment in which we exist. So by balancing all of these and engaging in organic farming again, and doing so on a massive scale, similar to the Netherlands. Now, I've been to the Netherlands a few times. It's a small European country, but yet still they are the number two exporter of food in the world. A European country in a climate that does not have 12 months of near summer like we have. They don't have the quality land that we have, but as small as they are, they have used their intellect, they have used technology, and they've brought out the best in their situation. We are going to do the same here in Jamaica. We're going to learn from those who are doing the right things. We're going to build on what they have done, and we're going to raise Jamaica to another level. So our farmers must be seen like we see doctors and lawyers. So let's flip the script. So our farmers must be the highest paid people. They must be the most educated people. They must be the people who understand the economy the most. And so we have to build even schools. Our schools must be agrocentric. Okay, Afro and agrocentric, but not just rudimentary agriculture, powerful agriculture, scientific agriculture, where you maximize yield. So for example, you don't have to grow just flat, you can grow vertically as well. So you can maximize your space. You can grow on buildings as well. You can grow on rooftops as well. And you can integrate into that proper water harvesting, proper energy capture, and use all of that to maximize your people. So when we're finished, Jamaica is going to become the organic food capital of the world. We're also going to make that our tourism product by having community tourism across the entire country. So every community is now looking, smelling, and feeling like a tourist resort for the people, for us to enjoy, and then the tourists come in and become a part of that. They're going to see how we turn all of our land into food, how we turn our land into being very pleasing to the eye, how we integrate our people to enjoy the land, enjoy the surroundings, and live at a high level without diminishing the sustainability of our existence.
Are you planning on revisiting like some of those antiquated laws that are not protecting our country, especially the ones from large corporations, like large bauxite corporations? Do you have any plans of revisiting that?
Well, first of all, we plan to not reform, but replace the existing constitution. So if you elect the UIC to government, you're electing us to not tinker with, play with, or try to adjust the existing colonial constitution. We're going to throw it out. So you're going to have a new constitution, a truly Jamaican constitution, one that will protect the life, liberty, and property rights of Jamaicans, one that's going to ensure that every Jamaican has the ability to live, earn, and retire with dignity, one that's going to ensure that every child has the nutrition, education, and healthcare they need to succeed, and one that's going to ensure that Jamaica as a population is fully sovereign and every individual citizen is seen as and protected as a sovereign person.
I hear everybody complain about crime, but I also think that garbage and how we as a people treat garbage is an issue, is our whole mindset. Do you have any plans of your party to try to change that mindset of our country and to clean up the country physically?
Absolutely. And let me be very clear about this. We should not blame the citizen for how dirty and unkempt the country is. A country's cleanliness is determined by its leaders. It's like if you have a household, if the parents are not in charge, the kids are going to mess up the place. If you have a community and there's no plan for proper garbage collection, proper garbage disposal, regular sweeping of the streets, and building a culture of cleanliness in the minds of the citizens, you're going to get a dirty society. And that's what we have in Jamaica. We have dirty politicians, so we have a dirty society. The moment we have clean politicians who love and respect our country, who love and respect our people, you'll see a change in the way we govern ourselves. So a UIC government is going to insist on a clean and green society. So everywhere you go must be clean, and everywhere you go must be green. We must have plants, trees, shrubs, edging that are carefully and well maintained 12 months a year. Not little bola work at Christmas time about Christmas work. No, you must have that pride in yourself 12 months a year, 365 days a year. We must keep Jamaica clean, keep it looking beautiful, and allow our people to feel like tourists in their own country, and then let tourists come and enjoy it along with us. It's time for us to move away from the idea that because Emancipation Park is in front of one of the biggest businesses in Jamaica, then they must look nice and clean. Let's bring Emancipation Park to every community. Let's make every community a tourist community for the people of Jamaica, and then we'll have more tourists and we'll have more money in our communities.